Hey guys, Luke here. The NRL season is just about to start. 2020 season is just around the corner. They've already started playing trials. There's already been some injuries. The Nines has already happened. It's time for me to start giving opinions on some signings. Now, over the next couple of weeks, even maybe next couple of months, we can go through the season as well, because I'm sure there's going to be some mid-season signings. But I'm going to go over 5 players per episode. I'm going to be giving them a grading, giving them a rating out of 10. I'm going to let you know if I think it's a good signing or a bad signing in terms of how much money they're on. Are they a good fit? Are they a good player? Off-field problems, just everything and anything essentially. Now feel free to leave in the comment section below any players you want me to talk about in particular, any signings, leave your thoughts on, my opinions, your opinions on players and that sort of stuff. I just want to see what you think in the comment section below. Anyway guys, that's the intro out of the way. Let's get into our first player. The first player we're going to be talking about is Brody Croft. Do I think he's a good signing for the Broncos? I think he is. I definitely think he didn't live up to his potential at the Storm. At times we saw glimpses of it. He had big shoes to fill in Cooper Cronk. My only question mark about him is that, look, he had Cameron Munster, probably the best 5'8" in the comp. He also had Cameron Smith, maybe the best player to ever play NRL, in at hooker. And, he even played with, Billy Slater and a few others, and he never really cemented a spot. My sort of thought process is if he couldn't do that with them, well then how's he going to go with the Broncos? However, sometimes it's just a different fit. I don't think he fit the Melbourne system. He seems like a player who's pretty attacking, can play off the cuff, but he needs more control. After all, he is the halfback. Essentially, as you can see with the Storm, they've got Jerome Hughes playing at halfback at the moment, and then they've also got Cameron Munster. None of them are really like a dominant half in terms of steering the team around the field. Cameron Smith does all of that. And Brody Croft probably gone through all the ranks, directing everyone around, and then they can come in and they can put a fullback in at halfback and essentially do the same job as what Brody Croft would have been doing. So that's what it says a lot about the Storm system. They don't really need an out-and-out halfback to play halfback. So Brody Croft probably doesn't suit that because I think he's an out-and-out halfback. His kicking game is decent. Just needs to slide out his defense and all that. And I think he'll be a good signing for the Broncos. Is he the man the Broncos need? I don't know. That's where I sort of have question marks as well, because Broncos do have some good young halves. O'Sullivan looked okay when he played before he got injured. Dearden looks pretty good. I do feel like they have players capable of playing the halfback position, and the fact that like Nick Ream was there, they got rid of him. It looks like they had some confidence in some of those youngsters, the Flegglers and all that. And then all of a sudden they've went and signed Brody Croft, who's also very young. So I guess they say Croft as the future of the number 7 for the Broncos. But what do I think of his signing? I think he's pretty good off the field. Doesn't seem to have too many hassles. On the field, he's got potential. I think that's the best thing Broncos can see about this signing is he's got good potential. And, he's come from a good system. How he'll go, I'm not sure. I'm going to give Brody Croft a 7 out of 10 with room for improvement. I think at the end of the season, we could easily look at this Brody Croft signing and say, wow, that is a very, very good signing. Or we can say, like, a complete dud. There's so much variation of how this could go for Brody Croft, but I'm going to say a 7 out of 10 for him. The next player we're going to be talking about is Eason Masters. Now, this guy was one of my favourite centres a few seasons ago. Last year had a massive drop-off, but it seems to be down to injury. It seems like he had a lot of injuries at the Tigers. Seems to have been on the outer as well. Was struggling with his goal kicking. Just a lack of confidence, it seemed. But this guy is, he's big, he's powerful, he's fast, decent footwork. I think he's a very, very good centre. I think last year, definitely, it didn't show his full ability. I think we saw the season before. This guy can be one of the best centres in the game. And especially with the NRL, I feel like they're lacking quality centres at the moment. So I think Eason Masters is definitely right up there. In terms of him signing with the Cowboys in particular, I think phenomenal signing. The Cowboys made a lot of good signings. And a lot of signings that they needed. They're not just going signing players willy-nilly, going, yeah, well, he's on the market, let's get him. Esan Masters, top quality centre. What do the Cowboys need? They needed centres. They've been really struggling in the centre department, just in the whole backline department in the last few years. And they've gone in and brought in maybe one of the best centres in the game at New Zealand International. He can goal kick as well. I think Eason Masters is a fantastic player. As long as he stays on the field and he's fit, I think it'll be a great signing. I think it's going to be a good season for the Cowboys, because we're going to be talking about the next player right now, and that's Valentine Holmes. Probably the biggest sort of marquee player to come back into the NRL. The biggest signing, I should say, anyways, in this offseason. Now, for ages, they were talking about Valentine Holmes coming back. Is he going to come back to the Cowboys? Going to come back to the Sharks? Stay in the NFL? obviously he's come back and he's signed with the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a fantastic signing. Maybe not so much this season. Actually, I just forgot to grade Eason Masters. Go back to Eason Masters for 2 seconds. I'm going to give Eason Masters a 9 out of 10. I think it's going to be a great signing for the Cowboys. Now on to Valentine Holmes. So, Valentine Holmes, phenomenal player. We know that a few years ago when he played. He's gone to the NFL. He's bulked up a little bit. He's coming back. He hasn't played NRL in a few years. He's on big money as well, so there's big expectations. However, I feel like him at the Cowboys is sort of far enough away from all the media that's going to scrutinize him a lot. So I think he'll be okay in that department. I'm assuming he'll jump straight back into fullback. I think he'll go okay. Might take him a little bit to get going, but in terms of overall, I'm just going to grade this based off the next few seasons because I think Val Holmes is going to be incredible over the next few seasons. Maybe this season might be a little bit rough, but you look at that side the Cowboys have put together. I just talked about Eason Masters signing there. You add in Michael Morgan. Drinkwater looked great in the Nines. Kyle Felt's still there. They've got a lot of good players in that back line. I think Valentine Holmes, he will really flourish at fullback for them. So I'm going to say Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys is a 9 out of 10. So that's 2 9 out of 10s in a row for the Cowboys. It's been great signings for the Cowboys. So far, all I've been talking about is positives. I'm going to be talking about one that I don't think is that good of a signing, and that is Isaac Luke to the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Now, quite frankly, I just don't understand this signing. Now, Isaac Luke's nothing against him. I think he's a great player. I think could have done a job at a number of clubs. Dragons not one of them. Literally, if the Dragons have any position that they have down pat as that's a good position for them, they don't need anyone, it's the hooker position. Cameron McInnes is probably up there, top 5 hookers in the game. If Damien Cook wasn't there, I'd say Cameron McInnes would be the New South Wales hooker. I really rate Cameron McInnes. Yeah, I don't understand Isaac Luke going there. I mean, he couldn't even really get a run at the Warriors. It's safe to say that it was a bit of a flop for the Warriors. I thought when he signed, I think that was the time when they pretty much had the New Zealand backline. They had Tuivasa-Sheck, I think Foran was there, Johnson, Isaac Luke, and yeah, it just did not work at all. Isaac Luke spent most of the time injured or suspended or just straight up in reserve grade. Yeah, he's definitely had a big drop in form, a drop in playing ability. That's just be expected with age. But I suppose the one thing Isaac Luke can offer is experience, and he can sort of teach players. He's got a good winning attitude, you would think, from being at the Rabbitohs for a good portion of his career in terms of when they were winning as well. I know he didn't win the premiership, but he was in that squad. He probably would have. He definitely would have been the hooker, and they probably would have won convincingly if he had played. But yeah, Isaac Luke, great player in his heyday, but obviously it's not his heyday. In terms of him going to the Dragons, I don't understand that one. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. I don't get it. I'm assuming he's on very little money, but even then, he's a backup at best, you would think. I can't see him getting a bench spot. I know they're saying he might come on and Cameron McInnes moves to lock. I don't like that move at all. Cameron McInnes should be the hooker. He should be the hooker for 80 minutes. Now, moving on to the last player of this episode, we're going to be talking about, I said Valentine Holmes is probably the most high-profile signing. This is probably number 2. It's Latrell Mitchell. At least recently, this has been the most high-profile one. It was like, Latrell Mitchell, is he staying? Is he going? Is he signing with the Tigers? Is he signing with the Rabbitohs, Bulldogs, everybody? I think Latrell Mitchell got linked to everyone. Titans, another one. He's finally ended up at the Rabbitohs. Now, I think the Rabbitohs, they finally got their man. They've been looking to replace Greg Inglis now. It's very hard to replace Greg Inglis, but I think this is the closest you're going to get to getting another Greg Inglis, and he's very, very young. Obviously, Greg Inglis came to the Rabbitohs in his prime. I think Latrell Mitchell still is quite some time away from his prime, but I think if he stays fit, he's going to be an incredible signing for them. Now, it's believed he's going to be playing fullback. I think he's definitely capable of playing fullback. We saw in the Indigenous All-Stars game, he had glimpses of, of magic. Nothing really outstanding. I thought Ponga outplayed him, but he definitely showed he's capable. He showed in the past he's capable of playing fullback. We do know that. But obviously, he's made his name mostly as a centre as of late. Played for New South Wales, Australia, but I do think he is definitely capable of playing fullback for NRL. Maybe not in rep games or that, but I think in terms of for the Rabbitohs, I think he's definitely better off at fullback, especially when you look at their overall team. James Roberts looks to be fit and fresh and all that. You add in Braden Burns, I think has got heaps of potential. I think they got 2 good centers there. Bryson Goodwin they've also signed as well. So they do have some depth in the center position. And yeah, Latrell Mitchell, I think he's better off suited at fullback. Also, just in terms of the NRL these days, I think gone are the days of the small, tiny fullbacks. You want big bodies. You know, James Tedesco, while he is very good scoring tries and that, he gets your sets off to a good start. He runs it back hard. Ponga's another one. He sort of gets you on the front foot. That's what you want these days. You want the players who can get you off on the front foot. And I think that's why players like Jack Bird and stuff are getting a run at fullback these days. It's just, yeah, you need a strong carry back from the kick returns. And I think Latrell Mitchell can do that. I think he'll score a few length of field tries. I think he'll get your sets off to a great start. I think he'll be a great signing for the Rabbitohs. Hopefully he gets his off-field problems sort of all sorted. I know he had a little bit of problems last year. But I mean, keeping that in mind, like if he keeps everything off the field good, I think he'll be outstanding on the field. So in terms of this signing, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Not quite as good as like your Eason Masters and Holmes and that, but that's purely just for the fact that I think he's on huge money and he's moving into a position he hasn't played in a little while. But I still think he's a great signing for the Rabbitohs. Anyway, guys, those are the 5 plays that we've just done for the first episode. Like I said earlier, leave in the comment section below who do you want to see me talking about. I'm only talking about players who have signed in this past off-season, so keep that in mind. What do you think of all these plays that I just talked about? Give them a rating out of 10 in the comment section below as well. Also, while you're at it, you may as well go ahead and give me a follow on all social medias. It's on the screen right now. My Twitter and Instagram is Mr. Luke and YT. Same as my Snapchat as well if you want to add me. Same as what's on the screen right now. My Facebook is also in the description as well if you want to go ahead and give me a like on that, post on that a little bit. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. This is a brand new series. Hopefully it goes down well with you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.